Hi, welcome to Chris Cook for YouTube. Today I'm going to be doing something that's quick and simple, but a lot of people may not know how to do it, and we're going to do white rice, just fluffy white rice. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I remember some children were talking in the backyard one day, and one said, "My mom makes some real good sticky rice." So I'm going to show you the proper way to make rice. Now, I have here, the rice that I'm using today is jasmine, but you don't have to use jasmine. You can just use your regular rice. And when you're using dry ingredients, you should use a different type of measuring cup, not this glass measuring cup. But you use what you have. You don't necessarily, not unless you're a professional chef, you don't have to use that. You use what you have in your house. So for this is 1 cup of rice, and I'm going to pour it in my container. I want to make 2 cups of rice today. For every cup of rice you use, you would use 2 cups of water for that. So you're going to do, your ratio would be 1 cup rice and 2 cups of water. If you're doing a half a cup of rice, then it will be 1 cup of water. So for every 1 cup of rice, it's 2 cups of water. Try to use a pot. The pot that I'm using today has a little lip on it. That's so the steam can escape. But the way this top is made, if you can see, it has holes in the side of it, so my steam would be able to escape anyway. For you, if you don't have it, don't worry about it. Just take your top and tilt it a little bit on your pot so that the air and the steam can get out, so it does not overboil in the first 15 minutes of cooking. Now, you saw me add 2 cups of rice. So for 2 cups of rice, I'm going to need 4 cups of water. And I'm going to put that in right now. Now, we're going to take this over to the stove once I finish putting the water in it, and we're going to allow this to boil. We're going to allow this to cook on high until it comes up to, a little bit more, okay, until it comes up to a boil. Now, that's all you need. You just need your rice and your water. You don't need margarine, you don't need salt. You can do it if you want with the salt, but you don't need margarine to keep your rice from preventing, or to prevent it from sticking. So you just put your top on your rice, take it over to the stove, and I'm going to cut my stove up on high. I'm going to allow this to cook for the first I'm going to allow it to cook until it starts to boil on high. Once it starts to boil, then I'm going to cut it down and I'm going to cook it on low for 15 minutes. So that's cook it on high, bring it to a boil. Once it starts to boil, reduce your heat down to low and allow it to cook for 15 minutes on low. I will not remove the top. I'll let it sit for 15 minutes after I cut the stove off. Then I'll remove the top and I'll show you what the finished product looks like. So when it starts to boil, we'll get back. As you can see, my rice has started to boil. Okay, you can see that it's boiling now. So I'm going to reduce the heat down to low. Okay, now that I have reduced the heat down to low, I'm going to allow this rice to cook for 15 minutes on low. Now, once the rice stops cooking, after that 15 minutes, I'm going to cut my stove off, but I will not remove my top. Okay, I'll leave my top on the pot for an extra 15 minutes. Then I'll come back and show you the finished product on how the rice should actually look. Now, I know there's a lot of myths out there about rice. You got to keep the top on the whole while, but we didn't do that. In the first 15 minutes, if you remember, just before it started to boil, I told you to tilt your top. That doesn't make any difference about it because you need that steam to escape from the rice, and you don't want to mess up your stove nor your pot. This is a simple way to make good rice. So we'll allow this to cook on low for 15 minutes. Then we're going to allow it just to sit with the top on it for 15 minutes, and we will get about 15-20 minutes. So we're going to take the pot off of the top off of the rice. We're going to fluff it up with a little fork. Look at that rice. See how fluffy that rice is? And what I did was I got a plate so that I could show you this rice. Trying to get it out with a fork. That's not the best thing, but look at that rice. That is perfect rice. Okay? Just wanted to show you, you can do this real simple. You don't need a rice cooker. You don't need all those added ingredients. Your rice is perfect. Now, I just wanted to show you that. You can look in here. It's perfect rice. Okay, we've shown you how to make perfect rice. If you have a recipe that you want to try and you're unsure about doing it, just drop me an email and I'll be glad to try it for you. And as always, thank you for watching Chris Cook for YouTube. Bye.